The rumor mill continues to spin, and Lauri Markkanen's name gets no sleep whatsoever. Hello there, it's your boy Wraith Hoops. Today we're going to be talking about the San Antonio Spurs' pursuit of him and the new angle that they're deciding to take. With that being said, if you're into NBA basketball, go ahead and smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. I do this almost every day. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into it. Within the past 48 hours, the official deal that has been talked about, at least amongst the Spurs front office, as reported by Brett Siegel, was their willingness to trade multiple first-round picks, likely the Atlanta ones, because those will likely have the most just overall value, in my personal opinion, in these coming seasons, alongside Keldon Johnson, in exchange for Lauri Markkanen. The Spurs, quite bluntly, have the assets necessary. They also have lucrative draft picks depending on how Atlanta performs this upcoming season. I personally don't think that they're going to be a very good team. I don't even think they're going to be the caliber of a play-in team as it would be necessary for them to be. So from my eyes, those picks are very tantalizing heading into this 2025 draft, where the Jazz are hoping to make some big news with a big splash. Currently, they're sitting at 3 first-round picks, and adding another one to the fold would be kind of nice if you catch my drift. Keldon Johnson also isn't a scrub himself, though he ended up taking a little bit of a backseat with Victor Wembanyama being on the roster with his generational talented behind. But this year, he ended up playing in 69 games, which is tied for the second most he played in his career. He put together 15.7 points, 5.5 rebounds, 2.8 assists, and 0.7 steals in just 29.5 minutes, while shooting 45.4% from the floor and 34.6% from three-point range, which are all solid numbers. But when you take into account the season he played before, where he played even better, because that was obviously before Wemby was there, he played in 63 games, averaged 32.7 minutes per game, and in that time he put together numbers of 22 points, 5 rebounds, 2.9 assists, 0.7 steals, and shooting splits of 45.2 and 32.9. So what we've learned is that over the past season, when there's less attention on him, he's more likely to hit his three-point shot. As a result, his overall field goal percentage is negligibly better, and overall, his scoring has gone down just because he hasn't had as many shots that he was accustomed to the previous season. Nevertheless, previous to that, his scoring totals have gradually increased, and he's just gotten better as a player. It went from 9 points his rookie year up to 12.8, up to 17, up to 22, and this is the first regression year. But because his efficiency and overall numbers have stayed relative to the side, outside of that, it gives me reason to believe that he could do the same thing and present himself as being the same type of player for a different team. I believe that he would be very lucrative to have on your roster if you are the Utah Jazz. I don't know how much the front office would actually like him. As a wing, he's very interesting for myself personally, and I think that he would add a little bit of needed pizzazz to that front office, just to the court overall. Obviously, he only stands at 6'5", but considering the fact that Keontae George has his ups and downs, and I believe that personally Keldon Johnson is a better defender than him and already a more efficient scorer despite being at the age of 24, I think that it's pretty reasonable to sit there and say it might be worth at the very least entertaining. Now, do I think that Keldon Johnson alone as a young piece is enough? Probably not. I don't know if they want to go Sohan. I don't know if they want to go Vassell. I don't know if they want to go deeper into the bag. I know they're not going to be able to go Castle and get this lovely player of one Keldon Johnson, but I believe that probably looking more so at 2 young players along with the draft compensation, specifically sending Utah over those Atlanta picks, would be the most lucrative deal that they could offer, and I'm pretty sure that Danny Ainge would entertain it, but he probably wouldn't still pull the trigger on it just because there's no certainty behind that. I don't know if Keldon Johnson could be the same star in magnitude that Lauri Markkanen is, but I do feel like he has a very substantial amount of upside that has already been presented so that people could go ahead and make that case for him as a lead guard or whatever position you decide to run him at. The Jazz, either way, will end up losing a lot of games this season. I believe that this is one of the more interesting and feasible deals considering the type of picks that the San Antonio Spurs have, but let me know what you guys think. Does it make sense for them to even entertain this deal to begin with? I know a lot of people feel as though, yes, Keldon Johnson is a decent player, but we want somebody more. We want somebody better. But if you're a Spurs fan, the potential of just giving up Keldon Johnson despite him being a solid rotation piece in exchange for Lauri Markkanen to create a dual 7-footer front court alongside Victor Wembanyama, you're kind of foaming at the mouth a little bit because yes, Keldon Johnson is reliable. Yes, he has been a consistent piece in the rotation for the past several seasons, but you really haven't won anything with him as a core member of your team. And honestly, at best, he's probably a role player unless he's thrust into the limelight and forced to be that lone star. So if you have the ability to pair an elite shooting 7-footer alongside a Frenchman that's putting on weight, he's trying to learn the game a little bit better. He's trying to slowly work his way into being a stronger presence overall. And despite being a featherweight, so to speak, he was still an elite shot blocker the likes of only Rudy Gobert could compete with. I think that is something that you would want to be willing to maybe not leverage the house on, but there's quite a few strange things you'd be doing for a little bit of that change that could potentially boost you automatically into playoff waters. And depending on the development of one Stefan Castle alongside the assistance of Chris Paul, you could see a very fast rebuild and ascension to dominance coming from those San Antonio Spurs that have been sitting in purgatory for a little bit of time. And while they haven't been the worst basketball team to watch, they certainly haven't been the most fun, if I do say so myself. Nevertheless, I believe that Greg Popovich and that front office will find a way to get things done. And even if they don't go for Lauri Markkanen, the word on the street is that Cam Johnson from the Nets is going to be on their very short list of prospects to end up going after, concerning the fact that obviously Mikal Bridges just recently ended up getting traded to the New York Knicks. So that effectively says the Brooklyn Nets are about to have a fire sale. And if you want one of their players, all you got to do is pick up that phone and ask. But it's your boy Wraith Hoops. Thanks for tuning in this video. Go ahead and let me know what you guys think in the comments below. As I said, do you think that it's worth entertaining if you are a Utah Jazz fan? Are you high on Keldon Johnson, or do you just think he's going to have the ceiling of a role player and therefore this deal is invalid? Do you think as highly of those Atlanta picks as I do and some other NBA insiders? Or do you feel like they're just cool? Either way, if you're a Spurs fan, or if you're a Utah Jazz fan, or if you're a fan of Lauri or Keldon Johnson or Wemby, go ahead and smash that like button, subscribe, turn on post notifications, and become a member or donate to the channel to help support the content. With that being said, it's your boy Wraith Hoops. Thanks for tuning in this one. As always, good morning, good evening, and good night, no matter where you're on the globe watching. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.